few-course dinner and awards night, and as he was giving his speech there, it just made me remind me of so many threads that Trent Story has had with St Mary's. And also with our work at Micah, because Trent did a fantastic article in one of the papers, the Australian, about 50 lives, 50 homes, which really helped us progress that work. And later tonight we'll be talking about Advance to Zero, which is sort of 20 years old, or 10 years old. But it was great when I said to Trent, would you mind coming? And he said yes, and I thought, be fantastic, because it does really bring, all of us are really inspired by some of the lives of the people we work with live. Their circumstances are often not what they seem. Their complexity of relationships are not just complex relationships, they're loving relationships, they're fathers, mothers, brothers, grandmothers, they're all sorts of things. And when we are privileged to hear those stories, and also the sense of humour that many people bring to telling us those stories, and transfers to our sense of humour about the work we do sometimes. But I just thought it would be great for us as an organisation to have Trent come and speak because of our history. And he's on a time frame, so welcome, Trent.
Karen Walsh, you can have Spider-Man, you can have Batman. I'll take Karen Walsh any day of the week. I can't wait to see your bronze statue in front of Suncorp freaking Stadium. No, genuinely, this woman has done so much for social services across our state, but particularly across our city here. And she said, oh, would you come along? And I've got to say, my life's crazy, so I'm sorry for all this time stuff, some rude gift, but the other way, it can sometimes be the family way. If I don't pick my daughter Beth up from dance at 7:45, divorce! My wife's over it. But no, I'm just saying, it's so important for me to be here, because I just think Aaron is incredible, and there's something I want to tell you that will really illustrate a bit about why I think Micah Projects is absolutely the way through, and why compassion works, and why care works, and why community works. Don't believe any mofo who dares tell you any different. Oh, thank you. But most of all, you work, you clap your hands there like it's all you people. And I swear to God, what I want to read to you tonight, I swear to you, I am living proof of the amazing work that you do. I will probably get highly emotional when I read this, but yeah, and it's because that's how you guys are, and you do it every day, and you're coming to help in family stories, right? It all gets back to love, and you're often dealing with people who are probably out of a bit of love. You're helping them find a bit of love, and you're helping them get their family back together towards a bit of love. And I just freaking tell you, please believe me. That's why this story is really hardcore that I'm about to say. But it's not, it's not for what you've heard, you know what I mean? But it's hardcore for me, so forgive me if it gets a bit sort of in your face or whatever. But it's just important that I don't dick around with someone like Karen Walsh is in the house. And royalty father Peter Kennedy is here. Can I just get it? Terry Fitz, so hard to come out, first Terry Fitz. Captain Aylan, Corrective Services for forever, helping female prisoners, gets out of that work, gets into student counselling, out of the frying pan into the fire. Just unbelievable people in this room, and I reckon I could go around each single table and write a novel about every one of you and the amazing work you do. I am in awe, but I just wanted to tell you a case study that might help you realise how amazing you are. Okay? So here's the next one. 1989. A single mother of 4 boys is released from the Boggo Road Women's Prison after serving 2 years for dealing heroin in the streets of Brisbane. This woman's a princess for her 4 sons. A cross between Kylie Minogue and Princess Leia. Now, she could tell the world the tragic tale that led her into that prison, but fuck the past. She's done with it. All that matters for her is the future. Only one thing on her mind now: how do I find a house, and how do I convince my boys, my 4 boys, to come live with me in it? And she meets this angel named Sister Bernice. Sister Bernice runs a halfway house for released female prisoners in Highgate Hill. They're supported by this incredibly beautiful man named Father Peter Kennedy. Yeah. He runs the St. Mary's Church, South Brisbane. Now, most of the women in this halfway house, they're single mums, just trying to find their feet. They want this house. They keep knocking on the door and they keep dangling treasures in plastic bags to these mums. And they keep making promises to these mums. They keep casting these dark spells. And this mother of 4 boys that I'm talking about, she falls for one of these monsters. And that monster takes her away. He keeps her trapped in his castle for years. And when the mother tries to run away, the monster finds her and he strangles her neck. He nearly kills her. He leaves her half dead on the concrete floor of a Telstra phone box. And when the police arrive, they suggest she should find some better strategies to not anger the monster. And the only thing that stops this princess from killing herself are the faces of 4 boys in her head. The mother's 4 sons are over in Brackenridge. They're living in a red brick housing commission shoebox with their dad. The dad has some demons, he has some mental health stuff, and it's fair to say he spends a bit too much of his single parent pension on Forex when he should be spending it on food and clothing for his boys. But that's all good, because the salvos are coming. Another box is coming this Christmas full of canned ham and pineapple pieces and licorice, all sorts. Thank Christ for the salvos. And thank Christ for Kurt Cobain. Because soon nobody's going to laugh at all those Sandgate Lifeline bargain bin clothes that those 4 boys keep wearing around the streets of Brackenridge. Soon the girls at school won't look at them like house white trash. Soon people will just call them grunge. Streets in their Brackenridge neighbourhood, they're named after the Knights of the Round Table. I swear to God. And that's so appropriate because those 4 boys have seen so many battles that they falsely and dangerously convince themselves of their own bravery. Their names are King Arthur, Sir Gawain, Sir Lancelot, and the youngest of the 4, Sir Percival. This is foolish. And the boys decide one day that it's time to free their mum from the monster. So King Arthur knocks on the monster's door, and the monster's raging. But King Arthur, he's like 18 now, and he's strong, and he's mad too. But he's not as strong and he's not as mad as the monster. And the monster's gone all crazy on any better he is. So there's this big fight in the front yard. But the boys all play rugby league, right? And they tackle this monster. 2 go low, 2 go high, and the monster goes down. Mum, get your things, the boys scream. Hurry, hurry, hurry. 4 boys pressing the monster to the ground. 1 brother per limb. Hold, hold, hold. And they hold the monster like this for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes before, thank God, a neighbour has called the police. The princess is driven to a domestic violence shelter. can I just give the biggest shout out to anyone in this room who has ever worked in DV. I freaking love you so much. So the princess goes to a domestic violence shelter and the boys take the train home to Brackenridge. And young Sir Percival, he can't take it at all. He starts weeping uncontrollably because he's not as brave as the other knights. He's not as strong. But King Arthur is so freaking beautiful for him. He is such a leader. He is so graceful. He tells Sir Percival a joke. And soon, Sir Percival isn't crying, he's laughing. Through a series of Queensland social services connected to the DV shelter, through places exactly like Micah projects, the princess finds affordable housing. She fills that house with furniture donated and delivered by the Salvos, by St. Vinny's, enough beds for her boys to sleep in. Through legal aid services, she finds ways to never have to ever again come in contact with the monster. But they didn't all live happily ever after, because real life ain't no fairy tale. But they all lived. And a lot of that living was in happiness. King Arthur joined the army, the great protector, looking after kids in other worlds like East Timor and Egypt and Sudan. Sir Gawain, well, he got a job at Senate. Real high up, he spent the past 20 years trying his best to improve government social security services in Australia. Not an easy job. Sir Lancelot, easily the brightest of the four boys. He did it tough. Drank a bit too much like his old man. He found himself homeless for a bit there. But he got himself a place in Spring Hill through those saints at Brick Housing. He got himself sober through endless rehabilitation services throughout Brisbane. Degree, the kid's killing it. He's the best in his class. High distinctions across the board. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh man, I can't wait to tell him what happened just there. And Sir Percival. Sir Percival was talking about the future with Sir Lancelot the other day. I could see you in legal aid, like all those beautiful people who helped Mum out. Yeah, maybe, Sir Lancelot said. Maybe yeah, maybe no. Sir Percival, well, he never stopped crying. The kid would cry at anything, still does, as you can see. But then he found a place to put all those tears. He put them in words. He put them in 20 years of journalism. He wrote so many stories tied to the Queensland social services that saved his mother's life. Then he wrote a book called Boy Swallows and Reverse. This is the best house. This is really special. Thank you for making this so special. It was a book about wars and battles and brave knights and beautiful princesses and love. It was a book about you guys. I wanted to write a tribute to that world and to all the people in this room who get poor boys like that out of that place and into their dreams. And now they're turning that book into this big Hollywood 8-part epic Netflix series as we speak. Sorry for the self-wanker type moment, I'm sorry, but it's a good end of the story. Next year, that little Brisbane story will be seen in 190 countries across the world.
Travis Fimmel!
Travis Fimmel, yeah. Travis Fimmel plays like this guy, like I call him Love, but it's really amazing. And Father Peter Kennedy, Karen, anyone who worked in corrective services probably rated that guy in the 1980s. This is why I love this room and why this city is so wonderfully small. And all of that 190 country stuff, that is only happening because of you. I swear to God, and I'm not just freaking gilding the lily, I swear to God, it only happens because of what you guys do. If you work on the front line, or if you work your ass off through life so you can fund the front line, it's all because of you. You are the ones who never write people off, especially the single mums. You never write off the single mums. Never ever write off the Queensland single mum. You are the ones who know the truth, that community works, that compassion works. You are the brave ones. You are the selfless ones. You are the strong ones. You are the true knights in shining armour in our city. And I'm so honoured tonight to sit at your round tables. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dad.
Trent has a couple of minutes to answer any questions if anyone would like to ask them.
Let's remember the important things as this brilliant city continues to the Olympics, all this great stuff, but let's remember what's really important. There's a lot of freaking people on the streets now, so it's all about that. So I'm really glad you asked because I think you guys might